just a single app, and it's starting to become more than that. And so I'll give you a little bit of a backstory on that. But the talk I want to give today is the next chapter of Android. And from the time when I first started developing Android until now, which I created my first app in 2008 as a senior project in college. Was anyone else doing Android development in 2008? It has changed a ton, and it was kind of horrible, and it's kind of gotten really good. So I just want to talk about some of those changes and what it means going forward, and I think there's a lot of exciting things coming up. So first, a little bit of backstory for perspective, where I'm coming from. So we launched our first app last December, and it's called Press. Maybe you've heard of it, maybe you haven't, but it's an RSS client, and we launched with Google Reader, and then Google said they're shutting it down, and so we said, oh crap, and we made the transition successfully to partnering with other companies like Feedly and Feedbin and FeedWrangler and a couple others. So we made that transition successfully, and it's been a really fun ride, and so I think just in general in the Android landscape, the things that we've learned throughout the past, I guess like 9 months now, have been really interesting. So just a little bit of perspective. Here's our app. So on the left side, you can see our app running on Nexus 4, and then on the right side is our app running on Nexus 7. And one of the things that we wanted to make sure we did was reflow the content that's appropriate for the screen size. And so just one of the things that, if you're a developer, I urge you to do the same. I think it's really important going forward, and it's one of the long-standing criticisms that's been pointed towards Android for a long time. And so that's been changing over the past few months, and so hopefully that will continue to progress. So there was a few things that we wanted to do when we created our first app, and one of those things was that we wanted to create an app that we would love. And Jordan and I were both working for full-time companies at the time, and we didn't have an audience. We didn't have any name for ourselves. We worked for corporations on internal products, and so we had no consumer portfolios. And so we wanted to make an app that we would love, so that we would have the energy and the will to create an app that was really thoughtfully designed and set a high bar for the quality. So that was number one, and I'm kind of going in order of how we rank these, like for ourselves. And the second thing was we wanted to make it feel native to Android. So a year ago, or I guess like 9 months ago, we launched. Almost 2 years ago, we started the development just nights and weekends, and at the time there was a real lack of really high quality apps that felt native to Android. A lot of that was because there was a lack of guidelines, design guidelines given from Google. So a lot of developers might kind of haphazard and set their own standards. And the other thing was that let's see here. I forgot what I was going to say. I forgot what I was going to say. So we'll go on to the next thing. But the third thing was we wanted to labor over the small details. As an app developer and trying to move into transitioning into a small company, we thought that focusing on all the small details of our app would help us to create a cohesive experience that hopefully customers would notice. And so our goal all along was to, hey, if we're going to put this much energy and time into it, let's make some money. So we didn't know back in December where we were going to stand with that. And there wasn't a lot of data out there to suggest that indie developers could survive on their own apps on Android. And we didn't know where this was going to fall. But within 4 months of the app launching, we were actually able to go full-time, quit our jobs, and work on Android development full-time. So that's been really cool to see, and we've been able to talk to other developers, other indie developers that are making great stuff. They're able to do the same thing. And 2 years ago, probably would not have been possible. Our app, just as a bit of reference, our app is $2.99 on the Play Store. We don't have a free version, and so we're already limiting our market by not having a free version. But because we wanted to put a lot of effort into the design and quality of the app, we thought that there was enough people out there that would be willing to pay for an app that was well done. So that's a little bit of backstory and perspective where I'm coming from. And so as Android moves forward, I think there's a lot of great things coming up. And one of the decisions that we made for our app was that we wanted to make our app 4.0 and above. And we made that decision over a year ago, and probably last August of 2012. And then 4.0 was on maybe 20-25% of devices, maybe not even that. But we didn't want to cater to the lowest common denominator, and it was a tough choice, only because of the market that we were able to address. But things have been changing really quickly, and it was one of the best decisions that we made so far. As an indie developer, we have that luxury to limit our market in ways that maybe a large corporation might not be able to. But it's interesting to see, if you look at our stats here, they're pretty staggering as far as what you see in a lot of news websites out there. So 5% of our customer base is on 4.0, and that's been shrinking by about a percentage point or two every month, which is pretty cool to see. So because that means that the others are growing. So 24% of our customer base is on 4.1, 26 is on 4.2, and then the majority of our customers are on 4.3. And that's like really exciting for us, because it means we get to focus on the newest features, the newest APIs, the newest optimizations in the platform, and it allows us to iterate much quicker than other people. So we think it gives us an edge going forward, and we don't have to worry about a lot of the legacy backporting issues that a lot of developers face even still today. So.
Question?
Yeah.
Does your system have any metrics on how many people try to download your app over only Android 2 or 3?
It wouldn't even run. It would just crash.
Okay.
So yeah.
So
there's a lot of 4.0 and plus APIs that we use.
Yeah.
So it would just crash.
It would just, if somebody tried to download it with a earlier OS, it just wouldn't even allow it.
Yeah, I mean, if they open up the Play Store, it won't even be visible on their device because it's not compatible with it. But if they were to obtain it, on a pirated site or whatever, it would just crash. So we don't have any stats on that.
So just curious.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we've done this too, but I'm surprised that an app like Press would have made this choice. Particularly because even back then there was pretty good tools out there. Action Mark, backports.
Yep.
Are you also available in the Amazon App Store?
No, that was something that we considered. Personally, I'm not thrilled with their developer, not their guidelines, but their the terms of agreement that they have. They can change your app price at any time, and they only have to give you 20% of your retail price that you list. So because of those reasons, we've heard some horror stories, so that's not something that we've done so far.
Was there a reason for the 4.0 and 4.0? That is, was there a feature only available to 4.0?
There are not necessarily features, but APIs. So
APIs.
Yeah, so there are a lot of hardware acceleration related APIs that we use, we had our app running on 2.3, but we weren't happy with how it performed. And